Okay.
अवतार मेहर बाबा की जय। अवतार
Avatar
मेहर
Meher
बाबा की
Baba
जय।
Jai. Avatar
अवतार
Meher
मेहर बाबा की
Baba
जय।
Jai.
So over to you from here, Uncle. Jai Baba.
Jai Baba. Jai Baba Ganesh. Jai Baba to everybody. At the outset, I thank beloved Baba for giving me this opportunity to share my thoughts regarding this Baba's new life, which is a very important event in Baba's ministry. And I also thank all of you for giving me this opportunity. I thank particularly Ganesh for making all the arrangements and sitting and all that. And now we begin with the story of the new life. The new life story is very astounding, and it is one aspect in Baba's life which many times people are uh, totally uh, uh, they are at a loss to understand what how those days must have been, and what must be the condition of those people who accompanied Baba, and how Baba trained all those people. So this is a very important phase. And before I start with the new life, I would like to give you a background of some of the events which had happened prior to this 16th of October 1949. In the month of August 1949, Baba had called a meeting of his close disciples in Mehrabad, and for that meeting, only about 40 to 50 people were invited, and my father Ramachandra Gadekar and myself were the two persons among that group. And during that period, Baba explained that very soon he would be embarking on a very important activity in his ministry. And then, you see, we were just very anxious, whatever Baba was going to say or whatever Baba was going to declare. And during that meeting, Baba declared that very soon he would be uh, starting his new life, and this new life would be an entirely new phase of his activities. It would be a life of hopelessness and helplessness. And these were the words of Baba. And when we heard these words, we were at a loss. What was Baba going to do? And what was this new life phase going to be? And then Baba explained that during this period of new life, there will be several conditions. And it will be a very hard life, and it will be a life of hopelessness and helplessness. And people who had gathered, they were asked to give their consent in writing whether they are going to join Baba in the new life or whether they are not going to join Baba. So people were given slips of paper, and on the slips of paper, you had to write yes or no. And then Baba collected all the slips of the paper, and Baba read out the name of the person, and Baba read out what was this option that was exercised by the person, whether he has written yes or whether he has written no. But before that, Baba had made it very clear that before joining the new life, those persons who would be coming or who will be willing to come with me, they would have to renounce everything of the material world. If they are holding a job, they would have to resign from the job. If they are having a family, they would have to renounce the family, and they would have to join Baba. So it was just like as if taking sannyas from all the material activities. And this was what Baba had declared at that time. And he distributed the pieces of paper, and on To everybody, Baba just asked to write yes or no. And then the sheets were collected, and Baba was reading the name, and Baba was reading the option. Those people who had written yes, then Baba read out their names. And those people who had written no, because of difficulties regarding the family, difficulties regarding their job, or because of their job, or because of their family, or because of their business. So those people had written no. So in addition to that, Baba had devised another category of persons who Baba had designated as arrangement wala. Those who would make arrangement for Baba's new life, is those who would provide the all the logistics, the ticketing and the transport and all the other things were to be taken care of by these people who are known, whom Baba had designated as arrangement wala. So there were arrangement walas, no wala, and yes walas. There were three categories of persons. Who were the arrangement walas? The arrangement walas consisted of Sarosh Hirani, then Merji Karkaria, and Nariman Dadachanji, and Ramju Abdullah. These were the four persons who were called as arrangement walas. And those who had said yes, there was one group, and those who had said that was another group. So, after this August meeting, 1949, Baba asked all the people who had exercised their option as yes, that they will join Baba. And those were designated as Baba's companions. And Baba had himself declared that I shall be living the life of an ordinary human being. I shall be your companion, and you can treat me as your companion. You can call me as your brother. And to all the groups, he had instructed that you can call me your big brother, Bada Bhai. So those were the instructions given to those people. And accordingly, on the 16th of October 1949, in very early morning, Baba left Ahmednagar on foot. He crossed the railway line, and after crossing the railway line, the group of people started walking towards Pune. And when they had reached Supa, then they hired a bus, and from the bus they went to Belgaum. And the stay in Belgaum, it began on 20th of October 1949. So, what happened in Belgaum? In Belgaum, Baba hired a bungalow in the Thalakwadi area, and this bungalow belonged to one of Baba's disciples. His name was Haldankar, and he was a goldsmith. He was a rich person, and he had this bungalow. And Haldankar had placed this bungalow at Baba's disposal. So that bungalow is still there. If you happen to go to Belgaum, you can visit this bungalow. So in Belgaum, the arrangements were made. Baba's stay began in Belgaum on the 20th of October 1949. And from 26th of October till 20th of December, for a period of about 3-4 weeks or so, 3-4 weeks, there was training given. It was regarded as a training period of all the New Life companions at Belgaum. So, after completion of training on the 20th of after completion of training, the party left for Banaras, and Baba reached Banaras on the 15th of November 1949 in the early morning. When he reached Banaras, he stayed in Banaras for a few days, and thereafter, on the 1st of December 1949, Baba visited Sarnath. Now, Sarnath is a very famous Buddhist temple, and in this Buddhist temple, the devotees of Lord Buddha from all over the world, they come and pay homage to Lord Buddha. So Baba, who was the avatar himself, as in the same manner as Lord Buddha was the avatar of the Lord, so Baba as avatar prayed before the statue of Gautam Buddha at Sarnath. And after staying there, after praying there on the 1st of December 1949, the party returned to Sarnath again, and then the journey began to Jaunpur. So the free life phase of the new life, it began on the 21st of December 1949, and it ended on 31st of December. So it was a period of about 12 days of a free life. Thereafter, on the 1st of January 1950, Baba left Najibabad for Haridwar. And from 1st of January 1950, the new life began. As I said earlier, it was a life of hopelessness and helplessness. And those people who had gathered there had made it very clear to them that they would have no connection whatsoever with their family. They would have to forget about all their material activities like job or business or family connections. And in that manner, the group of people who were with Baba, they left Najibabad and they reached Haridwar. From Haridwar, Baba returned to Dehradun on the 12th of January 1950. And when he returned to Dehradun, he started staying in a bungalow on the outskirts of Dehradun, and that bungalow was arranged for Baba and his Mandali members. And that bungalow was located in the village Manjri Mafi. So Manjri Mafi village was sanctified by the presence of Meher Baba and his disciples. If you happen to go to Dehradun, do make it a point to visit Manjri Mafi and visit that bungalow. Now, when Baba was there in Manjri Mafi, he was there with all the companions, the lady Mandali members, as well as the gents Mandali members. And in front of the bungalow, there is a well. And from that well, the ladies were asked to draw water and cook the food for Baba and for the entire family during their stay in Madri Mafi. And Baba had given instructions that during their stay in Dehradun or during their stay with Baba in the new life, everybody must always remain cheerful in any condition. I repeat, everybody should remain always cheerful in any conditions. So this was the prerequisite for every member who had joined Baba. And so this day began, and on the 21st of January 1950, Baba organized a meeting in Dehradun. And in that meeting, he clarified so many points regarding the new life and how it was, how it should be observed, and how it is important for everybody to always remain cheerful under any conditions. Baba remained in Dehradun till the 16th of June 1950, and he left Dehradun on that day for Satara. And after reaching Satara, on the 25th of July 1950, Baba arranged a meeting of his close disciples in the bungalow in which Baba was staying. And that bungalow belonged to one gentleman named Bhurke. So the bungalow was known as Bhurke Bungalow. So the meeting was held in Bhurke Bungalow on 25th of and later on, from Satara, Baba went to Mahabaleshwar, and the meeting was held in Mahabaleshwar on 16th of October 1950, from the morning 7 o'clock till 11 o'clock in the morning in Mahabaleshwar meeting. And that was a very important meeting. And my father and myself were present in this meeting. So this is briefly about New Life I wanted to share with you. The most important thing is, during this New Life, Baba lived like a common man, like a companion, and that was a life of hopelessness and helplessness. And he traveled a lot, and he walked on foot also very long distances, and that was how the New Life was.
We have a question from Betty. So, Betty, yes.
Jai Baba, Dr. Gadekar, thank you. Those stories, your details were really interesting. I wondered where you were at this time, at the when Baba left on the New Life.
When the New Life began, we were staying in Pune, in a locality, and we were in Pune, not in the present house, but another house in Pune, 1949. And I was going to school.
Yeah.
I wondered, Dr. Gadekar, was your father involved with the New Life program at all?
Not to that extent, because he had a job and a family, and Baba permitted him to join the family and not join the New Life. And he was not given any specific task during the New Life. But nevertheless, my father, he led a very Spartan life during the New Life period.
Oh,
very Spartan life.
Interesting. And did you also feel that you needed to be Spartan at that time? How old were you?
I was very young. I was a teenager at that time.
Right. Interesting. Thank you. That's interesting to have a first-hand view. Thank you.
Gadekar ji, so would you call, I heard you were in the meeting where Baba decided who will go with him in the New Life. Were you one of those snow wallers?
I was a teenager, as I said, and I
Right,
was a school-going kid.
right. Yeah.
Ah.
And
So,
that,
and
right.
Baba would always inquire, how are your studies going on?
Okay.
So,
The other question I have, which is where Baba said the new life will live by itself, even if there is no one to live it.
yes.
What does that the message of Baba's mean to us?
See, in that message, Baba had said that this new life is endless and will live forever. It will be endless for those who live a life of renunciation and also live a life of helplessness and hopelessness. Ah.
Okay, thank you, thank you.
So,
Yeah,
so that was the message which Baba wanted to convey. So I personally feel that though this new life as such per se in Baba's ministry was over, but as Baba had himself said that it is a Baba it is a it is a example that Baba
mm,
set for us, and Baba lived that example. Baba showed how uh, how he lived the new life and how he wanted other people also to live a life of hopelessness and helplessness and life of detachment
mm.
from the family and constant remembrance of Baba and remaining cheerful always under any conditions. So this was a very important message that Baba had conveyed, and I think we should try to inculcate this Baba's teaching in our life. So
Right.
that will
Thank
be
you.
our tribute to Baba for his new life.
Jai Baba. Thank you.
And that
Thank
is
you so
probably
much.
what Baba meant that this life, new life is endless and it will go on forever. This is
Jai
my
Baba.
limited understanding.
Yeah. No, thank you, Jai Baba. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. So we have Betty. Betty again asking has a question.
I'm wondering, Dr. Gadekar, for those of you who stayed behind and were but loved Baba, what did you hear a news of his travels? Did you have meetings where you, I don't know, talked about how it was progressing? Were you connected in some way to his journey? Those who were left behind.
Uh, you see, this that is, I have already shared whatever I could recall.
Okay.
Hello. I think.
When he came out of the new life, was there a meeting, or did he greet you all again?
No, after the new life, I see, there were meetings. There was a meeting in Mahabaleshwar on 16th of December 1950. And for that meeting, Baba's close disciples were called. And my father was one of them. And that was probably the last meeting during the new life period, after which the new life was over.
We have another question asking how many people were on the new life with Baba. Do you know that?
Oh, I can't tell offhand, but at least you see about 12 or 13 men and about four or five ladies were there.
Sounds about right.
They were there.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Gadekar. It's so interesting to hear your firsthand experience.
Yes, you see, And as I recapitulate, this new life is a lesson which Baba has given to all his lovers and all his disciples, that how they should live, how they should love Baba, and how they should lead their own life, for
Yes.
which Baba had set the example.
Okay, Betty.
Yes.
Last but
Yeah,
not
we have
least,
another question.
this meeting at Mahabaleshwar was very interesting meeting, and Baba had called all these people who are very close to him, and he had said that now from the new life I am stepping into the old life, and I will be in the old life. So that was very memorable meeting in Mahabaleshwar on 16th of October 1950.
Wanted to ask you, Baba was there in New Life for how long? The period with all his 12, 13 members.
Oh, as I said, it started in 16th of October 1949, and it went on till October 1950, so about 1 year period or so.
Mhm. With Baba and the 12, 13 members in New Life, were they fully into the new life, or were they coming out for the old life and new? How long was that? Did anyone break the rule or kind of?
Baba, once Baba entered the new life, he was entirely in the new life during that period. And he traveled a lot, he traveled extensively. If you read the New Life book by Bhav Kalchuri, you will realize how extensively Baba had traveled to different places, like and how he traveled on foot also. Places like Belgaum and Banaras and Sarnath and Jaunpur, Haridwar, Dehradun, and so on and so forth. Satara, and ultimately at Mahabaleshwar. It's a period of extensive traveling and extensive hardships for Baba and all those people who accompanied Baba.
Okay. Thank you, Uncle. Thank you, Jai Baba. Thank you.
And he set an example to us, as I understand, that how we should also, when we live life as those who had lived during the new life, we are actually remaining in Baba's fold, because Baba had said that this new life is endless and it would go on forever. Song of New Life, which Dr. Gani had composed, is wonderful song, and it was in Urdu, but it was set to music also, and it went like that. Suno meher Baba ki खामोश बानी, इसी में है सब आशिकों की कहानी. सुनो मेहर बाबा की खामोश बानी, इसी में है सब आशिकों की कहानी. सुनो मेहर बाबा की. Very beautiful music and very beautiful tune. And I remember one stanza. I can share that stanza with you.
Yes, please.
From that
Yes,
song.
please.
ये अल्फाज बाबा के सुन दिल से प्यारे, शुमार अब तेरा है बराबर हमारे. अगर हुक्म अच्छे के बुराई के न्यारे, बजा लाओ फौरन खुदा के सहारे. सुनो मेहर बाबा की खामोश बानी, इसी में है सब आशिकों की कहानी. सुनो मेहर बाबा की. So that was a beautiful song.
Wow.
अगर आसमाने मुसीबत भी टूटे, सदाकत का दामन ना हाथों से टूटे ये चंद्र. It goes on like that. Very beautiful song.
Great. So, thank you so much, Betty.
Many questions. when when he stepped out of the new life, Dr. Digambar, when Baba, how was it different? What changed? Can you say before and how between before and after? How was what were the differences?
See, when Baba came back from, stepped into the old life, from new life, it was just like Baba which we used to see earlier. Same jovial and so same humorous nature of Baba and that Baba's aura and all that. So it was just like old days for us when Baba returned to the old life from new life.
You must have been happy.
And we, yes, and one and for that glimpse Baba had given to us in Mahabaleshwar on 16th of October 1950. There was in the morning period, 7 to 11, that meeting was held. And during that period, in that meeting, Baba had said that for this morning, I am stepping into the old life from new life. And then after the meeting was over, Baba again stepped back into the new life.
Wow. Interesting. Thank you.
That's beautiful.
Yes. So what I was suggesting is that Baba gave us an opportunity at how one should live his life, even in the material world, and how one should remain attached to him constantly. And there are so many incidences and so many stories are there, but that is not much time. There is not that is not the time today.
Yes.
Gadekar uncle, it's
Yes.
Mahachandra from Hyderabad. Can you
Yes.
recollect the instance of Daulat Singh's story?
Huh.
Can
Yes,
Daulat Singh?
Daulat Singh incident is very heart touching and very.
That's what I want you to share it. If you can share it.
No, it is all written there in the book, you see.
Yes, it is
And
written. But
uh,
sometimes even in written it, we love to hear you from you also.
no, you see, Daulat Singh and my father, they were very good friends. And whenever Daulat Singh would come for Mehrabad, he would stay in our house for some days and then he would proceed to meet Baba. And he was a practicing doctor, but he had totally surrendered to Baba. And his love for Baba was such that when he would start speaking about Baba, he would become so emotional. And he was really a gem of a Baba disciple, Daulat Singh. And Baba loved him so much. I have myself seen how Baba loved him. Baba used to call him and Baba used to embrace him. And Baba would always praise him for his intense love for Baba. That was how Daulat Singh was.
Beautiful. Yeah. I mean, it's beautiful. So one thing, like when Baba left for the new life, how did you feel? Means when he was going into new life personally.
When Baba left for the new life, you see, it's difficult to recollect. But we were just hoping that this new life phase would end and then Baba would come back to the old life and he would be again his happy and cheerful self and we would be able to have his darshan again to our heart's content. Of course, it was a very selfish thought, but that is how we thought.
No, because Baba never told any date that when he would return. Baba didn't say like he would return after 1 year, 2 years, and he just kept it like so open.
No. Baba did not mention the date when his new life will end. He ended it at his own will. Whenever he wanted to end it, he ended it.
Prakash, probably the Naushirwanji might be sharing about Dehradun, that is Prem Se Bhiksha De and all that stories. But is one of the conditions of the Jubilee new life is nobody should not violate the rules. One of the
Right.
things when it is in the Belgaum, Daulat Singh was weeping and all that. That time Baba says and asks Iruch to say who is the weeping in there. Then they came to they realized that why he was weeping. Then Baba he tells about the story that's her daughter marriage. She got suddenly got said where at least you join the new life after the marriage, which it bluntly refused by Daulat Singh. And suddenly then one thing which is heard the Daulat Singh about her daughter saying that are you a real dad and you have no respect, no love for your children and you this thing that has brought him a lot of this thing, and that's the reason he weeps. Then Baba said, okay, now that we appreciate your this thing, but still, why do you have violated the rules? You go there and live. Then Baba, I apologize and please forgive me. Baba said, it's okay, I'll do forgive you, but you go there and live as per the conditions of new life. Then he goes home and lives as a new life and begging and this thing. He's being a doctor in his village. He goes and begging all that. The humiliation that brings the family also a lot. That's what the main of the Daulat Singh this thing story, and it's beautifully described in the new life this thing. And
Yeah, and
there are 4 or 5 pages in the new life. First is Daulat Singh's breaking of this thing, and then Murli Kale's story is there. Then you have that begging story. Then Langoti Kamela Yog, Langoti Pace, and so many pages were there. And the last page, which has ended with the alienation of mind, that was ended at Manonash Pace. It was started at Hyderabad at Manonash Cave and ended at the seclusion hill at Mehrabad. And ultimately it's ended on 31st January 1952 by lighting a dhuni, and by which the Edoich was asked to write from today onwards all the rituals and everything is put to life. And that was the letter at Mehrazad, and then the dhuni was collected and stored in 2 boxes and kept it in the Mehrazad, and with a specific direction not to open the boxes with that. And Baba said there is no end for the new life. That's one thing. New life is continuous. So that's the reason. Well, that's probably one of the reasons there are many people who are coming into Baba's fold because of the new life. That is my interpretation. I may be right. I don't know. I may be wrong. Many people are coming, and their life is attached with Baba previous birth, but they are taking a new life in the new form to come into the Baba's fold. That's what my feeling.
Yeah. And just to add to this thing, Daulat Singh story, then Baba and he later meet, and Baba was very happy with the way he followed the new life orders, and Baba asks him now he can go back to his home and all that. So it was very touching story where he again coincidentally gets to meet Baba. So yes.
Only with the memories we can able to say nobody is prepared actually.
Yeah. But Madhusudan, you have paraphrased it well. So the 4 phases and 31st January 1952. Yeah. And 13th February 1952, Baba says the new life is officially over, but it will live eternally.
Yeah.
So
and
that was like
before coming to the Mehraza, there's a very touching and heartful and painful story at what is that called place in
Imampur.
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 Yeah. Imampur was
Yes,
that.
it was at Imampur. And there is a very deep explanation which Baba gives about Manonash. So that was like, I guess it was on 6th February 1952.
Yeah.
And when he says that God is everywhere and does everything, God is within us and knows everything, God is without us and sees everything, God is beyond us and is everything. So, and he explains the Manonash during that time. So,
of course.
Yeah. Actually, after the lightning of the dhuni, the intensity of the seclusion reduced, and he slowly starting being more available after that. So it was a culmination of the events. And this was what he gave was life eternal was one message that he gave, wherein he says that thus Baba's old life and new new life ended and blended in a graceful manner, and there emerged an everlasting phase which he named as life eternal, life that is eternally old and new.
Thank you for the nice story, Gadekar ji. And actually, in that Mahabaleshwar meeting, my father was also called for 1 hour. So,
Yes.
and he was also asked by Baba whether you would like to come or whether your parents will take objection. He said, Baba, my mother will might object. So then Baba say, okay, you stay. You stay. सुनो मेहर बाबा की खामोश वाणी, इसमें है सब आशिकों की कहानी, है जीना तुम्हें गर नई जिंदगानी, करो तर्क दिल से ये दुनिया ए फानी, खुदा के भरोसे पे हम जा रहे हैं, कसम से इरादों को गरमा रहे हैं, गजल नामुरादी की हम गा रहे हैं, बला और मुसीबत को बुलवा रहे हैं, उम्मीदों करो नाना वादों का शिकवा, ना इज्जत से मतलब ना जिल्लत की परवाह, न गीबत किसी की ना खतरा किसी का, यही रंग है अपनी अब जिंदगी का, ख्यालों में उलझन है बाकी न बंधन, है नकवत न गुस्सा न कुछ काम कंचन, है मजहब से रिश्ता ना कुछ फिक्र तन मन, सवार एक किश्ती में शेखो बिरहमन, ना अपने लिए कोई छोटा बड़ा है, मुरीद और मुर्शिद ना मौला रहा है, अखवत का बाहम जो रिश्ता जुड़ा है, हमें दर्द गम से मजा आ रहा है, न दुनिया न उकवाना दोज़ख न जन्नत, न सिद्धि न शक्ति न कश्मो करामत, ये सब नक्श बातिल हुए दिल से रुखसत, जो कुछ है वह है हाल की किदर कीमत, ये अल्फाज बाबा के सुन दिल से प्यारे, शुमार अब मेरा है बराबर तुम्हारे, मगर हुक्म अच्छे बुरे दूं की न्यारे, बजा लाओ उनको खुदा के सहारे, अगर आसमान मुसीबत भी टूटे, सदाकत का हाथों से दामन न छूटे, चमन या सचमहिर माने हर चंद लूटे, तवक्कुल से इनमें लगे बेल बूटे, चले दिल पे छुरियां मगर लब हो खंदा, ये एक रमज है जिसको करता हूँ पूरिया, तेरी तड़गदस्ती में दौलत है पिनहा, गदाई पे तेरी करे रश्क शाह, है बेशक खुदा और बरहक नबी है, बहरदौर अवतार हर दम वली है, हमें तो फकत बेबसी बेकसी है, कहूँ क्या तुम्हें क्या नई जिंदगी है। जय बाबा। So
Really
this kind
beautiful. Thank you so much, Vijay ji. Like, really, thank you so much. So you would have this
thank you.
beautiful song from you.
अवतार
Avtar
अवतार
मेहर बाबा
के
जय।
Avtar
अवतार मेहर
बाबा
बाबा
की
जय।
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 बाबा
अवतार मेहर बाबा की जय। की जय।
जय।
It was sung before Baba, and Baba liked it very much. And it is said to
It is
music
in
by
Bhairavi, na?
yes, Rag
It is in
Bhairavi.
Bhairavi.
Yes. मेहर बाबा जगी अवतरले, मेहर बाबा जगी अवतरले, भक्त जना उद्धरण्याला, उठा बंधुनो जागे वा तुम्ही, उठा बंधुनो जागे वा तुम्ही, शरणरी कामहा पुरुषाला, शरणरी कामहा पुरुषाला, मेहर बाबा जगी अवतरले, मेहर बाबा, मेहर बाबा। जय बाबा।